I mean, I just hit the pause. I mean, I know I don't have to, but this is usually where the juiciest bits happen.
There's nothing juicy happening except for your coughs.
That is horrendous. And what's really bad is, like, you missed it. Obviously, you missed it because I was alone in the car when it happened. When I left for work this morning, I was coughing so hard that I was on the verge of puking. It was horrendous. Yeah, it was just, like, not great. And I don't understand because I'm, like, the most not sick at this point.
You're disgusting.
Yeah.
If it's smoker's cough, you don't even smoke.
It was like that, but, like, on a whole new level. It was bananas. Bananas. All right, let's do this. Let's do this here. Fanteraction. Going again in 3, 2, 1.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good. It's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello and welcome. You, for whatever unknown reason, have joined us once again for our Horrible Gaming Podcast. Now, you hear me, Neil, aka Tiny Wizard, and you probably know what that means. That means that Zach needed a night off, as we all do. So, of course, I am not alone because I would never do this clown job shit show by myself. With me is...
Me, Kayla, a.k.a. a smaller mage.
Ah, Jesus, not this fucking shit already.
Back.
Oh, my God. All right. Just one-upping me left and right. I do have a little bit of a residual cough, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time. But the apologies are going to be for the whole show because, as you may have remembered last time, I am not very organized when it comes to this.
And I woke up from a nap to find out this was happening.
So this is kind of haphazard, and to be honest, the show's probably going to be a little bit shorter than what you are normally used to. Just because I had a really long day at work, and this was kind of a surprise. No problem at all whatsoever, but I did rope Kayla into this. So we're going to go through the usual disclaimers, and I'm going to try to not mess them up this time because I remember last time I messed them up and I caught a lot of crap for it. You are probably going to be seeing a lot of original graphics, as we are not going to be doing video for this one here. Those are made by Mark Bell, and all of the original music, not original sounds, as I said last time, all of the original music is done by Nick Van Sliders for this channel, and we thank him for that.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so we are going to do Fanteraction real quick here. We're just going to read off some comments. I am very bad at this sort of thing, so I will read them the best that I possibly can. So, starting us off, William Hooan. Hi, Zach. You should have not come to the show if you're sick. Just tell me. It's fine. I would have asked Melissa to come at the last minute and not be, quote, mad at Neil for not being on the show. Laughing face emoji. Hope you feel better soon, Neil. Thank you very much.
It says and be mad.
And be mad.
You said and not be mad.
And be mad. Oh. Hey, I suck at reading. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a 33-year-old man that sucks at reading. America. Anyways, as games being an art form, I just played Gree for the first time this week. And trust me, it is 100% a piece of art. I've always been curious about that game. I heard it is amazing. The game itself is all about the process of grieving, if I remember correctly.
I don't think I could play that anytime soon.
Yeah. It's I've heard it's very feely.
Oh.
About the Skull and Bones delay, they obviously need to work a bit more on the cash shop. Duh. Cannot wait to see how cool the premium ships will look like. Yeah, I'm sure they will look great. As for what precisely they will be, I'm sure they're going to be kind of like Skull and Bones, or not Skull and Bones. We're talking about Skull and Bones. What's that other one? The rare one. I'm totally blanking right now.
Rare one.
Yeah,
what?
Rare. The other pirate game.
Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, that one. That's how little I care about it. Where it's just like slapdash, oh, here's a ship themed after a thing. Go for it. You're 100% right on Stadia. I have nothing to say that you haven't said. So...
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. in peace. Yeah.
R.I.P. Feel better soon.
R.I.P. Feel better soon. Who was that? Who said that?
I think it was Lindsay Lohan. Tweeted it.
Oh, God. You gotta love, like, those sorts of individuals. Oh, do you have it saved on your phone? Why do you have it saved on your phone?
That was her tweet about John McCain.
What the fuck? Okay, so I didn't have the context for that. It's a selfie that she shared via what, Snapchats?
Probably.
R.I.P. John McCain, feel better, XOXO. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, Jesus. Anyways... Seems that if you own Skyrim on Switch, you can upgrade to the Anniversary Edition for $19.99. Still, they've been milking this game for so much for so long. Yeah, after we had done that, I did go back and look at that, and yeah, you can at least upgrade it, which is fine. But yeah, that's the thing. Skyrim has been put out so many times.
And the price that you still have to pay for it is ridiculous.
Yeah, the fact that you still have to pay for it for that much, like, I guess I kind of half get it in this case. Like, I am, like, playing devil's advocate so hard on this one, just to try to see it from that angle. Because it's like, this is the Switch version. I mean, it wasn't originally launched on the Switch, so okay, I guess. But it is absolutely still bullshit. Thanks for the show. Hashtag get well soon, Neil. I said as I coughed right beforehand. Moving right along, Danny, hashtag get well soon, Neil. Thank you very much. I do so appreciate that.
I don't think you got this much love when you actually had
when I had the Roan. Yeah, it's whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, the man cold is really what takes you out.
That's the thing is, like, I was dying. I was absolutely dying. Asylum 66. I'm gonna blame journalism. They were releasing information that Ubisoft is making a multiplayer game based off Black Flag ship mechanics. And just like in Ghostbusters, I couldn't help but get the idea in my head of what that game was. Problem is, most of the world except Ubisoft and OMG had the same thought that I did. Hashtag what did you do, Ray? I'm not good. Oh, from Ghostbusters. Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've seen those movies, but I have actually seen them.
That's the one thing you've seen.
Yeah, it's like the one thing that I've seen. But yeah,
Classics.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've talked about it so many times. Like, games just get this stupid, crazy hype put behind them for, like, no reason, or, like, it has the promise as something along those lines.
Talking about hype, during the games today, there's this super long commercial playing, and I was like, what is this for? And it was like multiple huge celebrities like making weird chants. It was for Call of Duty.
Oh, fuck off. Like, do we even need commercials for Call of Duty anymore?
Like, we all know it's coming.
We all know it's coming. We all know that it's going to be a thing. We don't need commercials for Call of Duty. Like,
and just the people they had in it, I was like, that commercial probably cost more than what they pay
like
their developers.
Who was in it?
There was who's the guy that just broke up with Kim Kardashian? Pete, SNL dude.
Oh, so I mean, first I was gonna say Kanye. And then you started saying Pete. I was like, for some reason, Pete Wentz was the first
name. I
It's
thought
not
of
Pete
too.
Wentz. It's not Pete
No,
Wentz of Fall Out
that's
Boy.
Fall Out Boy. It's that guy.
Oh god, no! I know his freaking name, and I can
is
see
how
his,
little I
his
care about
face.
this.
I can see his face. I haven't watched SNL.
So they were like rap artists, him, like football players, and I was like, this is so unnecessary. I'm so over the huge hype. Just put out good games.
I mean, yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like the game. We don't know if a game is good until it already comes out, because anymore you can't trust any of the hype. There was a time long ago where you could kind of trust the hype, and there's a few companies that you can kind of at least expect good results, but not a perfect game from. And we've just been burned too many times. I mean,
we've normalized games being unfinished when we get them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I think it was Zach had even shared a thing about it, and we would talk. We'd probably be talking about it right now. It was a little meme that he shared, and it was like, "Oh, video game, it's almost done, but not there. It's still broken. Quick, I have an idea." Slaps early access on it, and money just appears. That's what it is.
That's like when we were selling PUBG when I still worked at the... Can I just say it now?
You're allowed to say it because you don't work there anymore.
When I worked at GameStop, we were selling PUBG, and we all just had, every time somebody bought it, "This isn't the complete game, just so you know." And it's like, what? Why? Why are we doing this?
Jeez.
And we were just so... It was becoming more common to be surprised if a game didn't have a day one patch.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they all have day one patches.
Yeah.
They're all going to come with a day one patch no matter what. Because games go gold so early now so they can print those discs up and get them ready to go. And they just keep working on the game. They basically say, okay, this is as good as it's going to get. We're just going to get it out there and deal with how it is as it is. Mm-hmm. And they just do patches with it. Back in the day, you couldn't do that. You just slap a disc in and go. I mean, it still could take 5 minutes to load up, but you're pulling the data straight from the disc. That's the thing. PlayStation 2 games and everything. And then if you did have a bug, it was one of those things to where it's like it's an exploit that you knew about, or it was, in some cases, so catastrophic they had recalls of the games so that they could be brought back so that the exploits or bugs could be completely fixed. Mm-hmm. And that's normal. That is normal. The cat has jumped up on the table and got into front of everything.
We were going to get through one.
No, you're not going to.
One thing without an animal.
So, because I'm recording this directly on the computer, I don't get the noise cancellation that I get from doing it via Discord.
Hear all of that.
So all of that is going to be heard. It's going to sound like somebody just like kicked the door in or something like that with jingles.
It's a 10-pound cat.
It's just she's heavier than 10 pounds. She's like 15 pounds.
Garrus is 15 pounds.
Garrus is like 25 pounds.
No, he's not. We just took him to the vet.
Yeah,
not
he's
that
a
long ago.
tanko boy.
Anyway.
And then I am so glad that this made it in here. The very end here, Jason. Our Subway has a drive-thru. Subway is classified as fast food. Five Guys is classified as fast food. Chipotle is classified as fast food. Now, Zach is not here, but he very much disagreed, very much so, with a very solid all caps no. And Jason did reply, "They literally are, though." Thank you very much, Jason. But don't you shake your head!
Yeah.
What?
Every time, this has been going on for 2 episodes now? Each episode, I mean to chime in and I forget. This is my moment.
Okay.
I worked at Subway.
Right.
It is not fast food.
But it's fast food.
It's not. It is not.
How is it not? I mean, yeah, it's being assembled fresh. It's in front of you, but it's
legitimately...
Quick. It's all pre-measured and ready to go. It is quote-unquote fast food.
Then if you use that logic... Ruby Tuesday is fast food.
But you don't sit there at a Subway for 45 minutes to an hour eating your sub. You can, but you're not there for 45 minutes. Why are you there for 45 minutes to an hour at a Subway?
But just because there's not waiters and stuff doesn't mean it's fast food.
I mean, honestly, you're actually kind of making a point for me. Ruby Tuesday has waiters and shit, but they have everything pre-measured out. Mm-hmm. So that does not necessarily mean it's fast food. You're there for An hour! If you're at an establishment for longer than a half hour, it is not fast food. It is not fast. It is just food.
Five Guys, you can end up sitting there for over a half hour.
Yeah, waiting for your food to be done. That's different.
How?
That's totally different. So bro, they give you a sack of fries. They don't give you some fries. They come in a brown bag. They take the cup, fill it up, dump the cup into the bag, and fill it up again, and yeet it into the bag with zero cares.
Gosh, anyone who's not American hearing us describe Five Guys is probably so appalled.
And you know what the worst part about all this, the absolute worst part about all this is?
I want Five Guys now?
Yeah, I want fucking Five Guys right now. I want their Cajun fries with some vinegar dumped all on them. I'll eat them straight out of that bag. I will take and unwrap that foil-wrapped burger and just have all of the juices pour everywhere.
I get my burger with everything.
I don't know how you eat that thing.
It's so good.
You pick it up and the bun is just soggy with grease.
The price I pay.
Oh, God.
For goodness.
I can't even do that. Well, now that we've gone in an absolute fucking tangent about fast food and everything, while I'm literally cooking dinner upstairs.
It's not Five Guys.
It's not Five Guys. It is ham, potato, and leek soup.
So then, by your logic of fast food, when that gets put
away... No!
And then I reheat it tomorrow, is it now fast food?
No! Leftovers are not fast food! Leftovers are their own category.
I don't know, because your argument for Subway was that it's pre-portioned.
There's nothing portioned about that. Let's be real. Chances are I'm going to dump the leftovers of that soup into an old, empty, reused potato salad container and pour it into a bowl from there for a couple days. Maybe, if I'm feeling frisky, I'll vacuum seal some of it and freeze it so we have a meal ready to go. Like I said, this podcast is not going to be a normal podcast. But that is it for the fan interaction. I am absolutely certain that Zach is going to have some input or something. Yeah, he might be literally regretting his decisions right now. I don't even know. So we are going to go ahead and move along. Why?
She never plays with that.
These cats never play with these toys. And like, oh, Mom and Dad are doing some stuff. Let's slap the Jingle ball around. All right. So with that, we are going to be moving along. So what we are going to do is I'm just going to do my odds and ends that I had ready to go. Like I said, this is probably going to be a little bit shorter of a show this time here. But we'll get it all slapped together as we usually do in these sort of situations. And Zach is going to have the fun, grand old time of having to sift through and edit all of this. So we are going to be right back with odds and ends.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Alrighty, so we're just going to do some odds and ends. I collected 5 odds and ends. So we're going to go through those and see if Kayla has any sort of input on them whatsoever. I don't know. You might have on some, you might not have on some. So the first one here, it's being reported that 343 is going to be moving its development from their proprietary slipspace engine, the one that they custom built for Halo Infinite, to Unreal. Apparently a lot of the issues that they had from the development apparently have all come from their custom slipspace engine. Now this is...
What?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is like not super confirmed or anything, but it is just a rumor at this point. But this sounds very familiar, a la Cyberpunk 2077, as they were building their engine while making the game at the same time.
It's almost like you should establish the engine first.
Well, that's the thing. That's what they're supposed to do. But when you like transition tech to an entirely new engine, like your developers know how to develop for that certain engine. And then from there, you flip it on its head. Now, if you're moving from one established engine to another, that's great. You at least have like a point of reference to some degree. You can touch base with people who've used the same engine, or maybe somebody's already used that same engine. But you're making a brand new engine. Wow, that's very, very jiggly. You're making a brand new engine and expecting it to go great? That's not going to happen.
I feel like if you want to make a new engine, maybe don't put out such a large game off of it right off the rip.
Yeah.
Put out something a little less hyped and expected. Like, we expected big things from Cyberpunk and Halo Infinite, and we were let down both times.
Well, like, here's the thing, too, is, like, with Cyberpunk, I guess technically at this point, the game has quote-unquote turned around for, a multitude of reasons. But at the end of the day, it was nowhere near what was promised. Mm-hmm. Halo is kind of the same way, though they're more aggressive and, we're not doing this now, and we're not doing this now, stuff like that.
I'm sure you're not going to agree with me, but I feel like Halo is a way bigger flop than Cyberpunk is in terms of playability.
That is what this podcast is predicated on, is disagreement.
Because I was one of the few that enjoyed Cyberpunk. There's a lot of shit that you just can't do in Halo that we were supposed to be able to do. So I haven't even played it with you yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, we literally can't. Not until the split screen, not split screen, rather, local, not even local, goddamn, online co-op actually gets officially released. And even that is like a softer version of what it was in the past. Uh-huh. And like, I don't disagree with you as much as you think I do. Halo was one of those games that just kind of fell by the wayside for me, just because Halo Infinite came out, and then what's it called came out? Horizon came out. So it was very much well, there's this game that I, like and enjoy and play from time to time, and then there's also this, open world AAA game that I've been hype about and have been wanting since, its inception, basically. Mm-hmm. So, like, I gravitated towards that. But, like, Cyberpunk, I finished Cyberpunk when it was in its really bad state. Like, if anybody knows anything about the game and has actually made it to the end, my fight with Atom Smasher, which is supposed to be like one of the big bads in the whole thing, he literally just T-posed in the air and just was there. Like, I stood still and shot him repeatedly. It was a huge letdown for like an end fight. I mean, there was still technically like a little bit more after that, but it was in a very unpolished state, and now it's, I guess, considered good.
I restarted it, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not crashing
there's
every
a lot
10 minutes.
To it now that wasn't there when it first came
out.
out.
And they're like overhauling systems, and they're having a DLC now, and then this is probably something that Zach and I would have possibly talked about, but CDPR officially announced their sequul to Cyberpunk 2077 already, which is
that's
banana fucking sandwich. That's ridiculous. That have we learned nothing?
They're riding that high.
They're riding their high now.
In
the Edge Runner anime, yeah. But like they're also like, oh well, we're doing like 3 more Witcher games before that too. So like, at least they know that it's going to be 35 years before the sequel to Cyberpunk comes out. We'll be able to play it.
Your retirement gift.
Yeah, my retirement gift. I'll be able to play it on a holodeck. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's crazy too that they spent all this time and effort, and if they actually jump engines, it's like a brand new ass game at that point. Like, what do you do? Do you patch a game that is an entirely different game? Do you like re-release it as like Halo next? Like, it's like, that's the thing. Like, these live service games come out, like, they come out in a relatively not great condition, and they like, oh, don't worry, we're gonna have the big update that's gonna come out and fix everything. It'll be the next version. That's what they promise all the time, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
It's very rare that it's actually what it.
No Man's Sky is like the one rare exception to that, I think, to where it came out as a dumpster fire, and after a lot of time and effort, they put their noses to the grindstone and actually made it be what they promised it to be, and then they've gone beyond that, which is great, and that is one of the great things about live service games. I can't believe those words are coming out of my fucking mouth right now, but here we are. That is one of the great things about live service games, is they can, like, be updated, be added on to, be progressed. And I know they've already said that, like, Halo Infinite was going to be kind of along those lines anyway, as a live story. Like, this is supposed to be the quote-unquote last Halo game to ever come out.
But they took out things that made Halo Halo.
Right, and that's the thing, is, like, at what point do you not call it Halo anymore? And that's what Zach and I have talked about before, is, like, it's almost like 343 wants to make something else.
Then you could have taken the opportunity to make something else with this new engine instead of making Halo.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how that shakes out. So, moving on to the next one here. Something that I'm upset about, and I'm sure Zach would have many words about. Sony is apparently very open to making PS4 games, as long as people are still willing to buy them. Herman Hulst of Sony was quoted recently saying that they don't want to leave their broad PS4 player base too soon, and that exclusives are being reviewed on a case-by-case basis, alluding to
like PS5 exclusives?
Yeah. To that, like, PS5 exclusives. Like, there's some, like, Ratchet and Clank, it can only be achieved because of the tech. But here we are again. The entire reason that we bought a PlayStation 5 was it was a true next-gen console. I remember talking shit for the longest time about the Series X, that it's not a real next-gen console. It just is what we have, but, continuing on. You're going to zhuzh up the graphics, and that's about it. And here we are again. They keep kicking the can down the road, saying, oh, well, eventually we'll stop making PS4s. And then it was like, well, we can't get PS5s out to people, so we'll just make PS4s. And now, they straight up say they're exclusive games, unless it already existed on the PS4 and is being, like, re-released on the PS5. Basically, they're saying, unless it's absolutely impossible, they're still going to put it on the PS4. Which, again, begs the question, we haven't mentioned this in a while on the podcast, but why did we get these new consoles when we did?
Yep. They weren't necessary. We're still on... We can't even call PS4s and Xbox Ones last gen because stuff is still coming out for them way more than PS5s and Xbox Series X's. And
it's funny you mention that, because I just thought of something. It's wild because in previous generations it would have already been dead. They would have already been dead. Well, yeah, but like in previous generations, what they've done is they've always talked about next gen until that generation comes out. And then they would refer to it as the current generation. Mm-hmm. We still have not gotten to that point yet. Nope. If you look in articles like games journalism, tech news outlets, stuff like that, they keep referring to our current generation as next gen. Almost as if subconsciously we're all still stuck on the previous generation. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that is, if it's just phrasing or if it is like everybody kind of being on the same page of, maybe we don't need these consoles yet. Maybe there's no real reason to have these consoles yet. Because the tech is not really being leveraged. I think there's only, in regard to Xbox, I think there's only like 2 games that are Series X/S exclusives. There's that the Medium, which is like a Silent Hill-ish sort of thing, and I think there was a like a racing game, like a Forza or something like that. Yeah, I know, surprising. But yeah, like that's kind of where we're at with this current generation, and it's weird to not be all on the same page with it. It was also weird too, because normally, like you had mentioned, in the past, we've had our generations of consoles last like 8 to 10 years before they get axed and the new ones come out. We're still at like 7 years that the Xbox One has been a thing. It's so weird to me that we pushed ahead so fast that it's almost like the PS5 and the Series X should have been that last mid-generational refresh that they have.
Yeah, I agree. It just sucks for everyone who, like us, got these next-gen consoles thinking that we would get next-gen games, and we could have all saved our money.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've said this before, I don't regret buying my consoles. Because they are nice to have, everything like that.
That's probably the only reason we got through Cyberpunk at the beginning.
That's the thing. Is like there are some. Well, that's a whole separate thing because Cyberpunk was originally supposed to be for like the PS4 generation, and it didn't run. Yeah, it couldn't run on it. I mean, hell, at the beginning, it couldn't even run on the PS5. But yeah, it's just like I don't know. We keep kicking the can down the road, and like, what does a generation mean anymore? All that sort of stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's frustrating, is what it is.
A frustrating time in gaming overall.
Honestly, anymore always is a frustrating time in gaming. All right. So, moving along here. This is more so for me, I guess. But apparently, there were rumors for a while that there was going to be a Kingdom Hearts TV show on Disney. Apparently, it was real.
Oh.
Yeah, it's now confirmed to have been real. So, apparently, the director and animation lead, Seth Kearsley, went on his personal YouTube channel and broke down the history of the project with confirmation of the existence of a pilot. And he actually plans on finding a way to release this pilot online so that people can actually watch it. Digging into this story a little bit, apparently, like, they used actual background animations from, like, the Aladdin TV show that they had an Aladdin cartoon, the Saturday morning cartoon, and everything like that, and they tried to bring back as many of the original voice actors as they possibly could. I would be interested to see how that would turn out, but at the same time, they would have had to tone that story all the way the fuck down for people to be able to understand.
Confusing.
It really is.
There's so much that's happening.
There's a ton of stuff that is happening / has happened in the past with that series, and like every single game. If you don't know every single teeny tiny piece of lore down to the tiniest minuscule piece of it, you're going to be lost. I kept up with it for the longest time. But Dream Drop Distance for the 3DS was the one that kind of started to ruin it for me because I didn't exactly get everything. It was all a dream, but it was all real, but actually a dream. And then it led directly into Kingdom Hearts 3, and then you got like craziness going on with that. And then now they're done with one saga, but they're starting a new one that they've been planting the seeds for like 5 years before. So it's all crazy shenanigans.
Oh gosh,
it really is
too much.
Like, you can go online and look at like lore breakdown videos. I'm not even kidding you. They are an hour long to make sense of literally everything that has gone on in the game. And like I said, I was diehard for a while. I 100%, like, I own all the games. I have beaten all of the games. But even I, an elder millennial, basically, who has grown up with these games and played them as they came out, I can't keep up, man. So how the hell are you expecting some 6-year-old kid watching fucking Disney Channel to keep up with, Princesses of Heart and Organization 13 and the Nobodies and, all this other shit, the Unversed, like Heartless, all these other different things, and this character's actually this character but reincarnated, but this guy's heart is in this other guy's body, and this other guy is actually a time traveler, but you don't know that until he's already reconfirmed that he's somebody else. I'm not exaggerating. This is all shit. This is all real shit from the lore of the games.
Just imagine what that pilot had to have been. How much information did they try to cram?
Apparently, from what I gathered from the article, it was actually just like based around Aladdin. So they made a pilot, and like the first episode, I guess, was based around like the Aladdin Agrabah world. So it's like all of the levels are a retread of the movies, which and shows and stuff, which is fine. But they have that overarching story that gets crazy, and it starts getting in the way of everything else. But I would be interested to see if that actually comes out. And I guess the show actually tested well with audiences, too. It got canceled due to creative differences. I can only imagine why. So, yeah, I guess we shall see. 2 more left for you. One of them, here's a fucking doozy. Far Cry 6 is getting a Game of the Year edition for $120 that includes a ton of DLC. This is interesting, as the game did not really win any prestigious awards of any kind, let alone Game of the Year.
It's calling itself a Game of the Year edition?
It's calling itself a Game of the Year edition. What in the absolute ass?
What? I have never heard of something like this before.
It is just...
And it wasn't good.
Game of the Year is like, it's like a buzz phrase now, like multiverse and blockchain, like.
But you would think you would actually, you're actually Game of the Year if you're going to put out a Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, and more often than not, the Game of the Year editions, even if they don't win Game of the Year, like they at least have a lot of prestige and everything behind them. This is the game where the bad guy would email you in the real world and talk shit because you're not playing enough of it.
I never got those emails.
Because you probably didn't register an Ubisoft account. You did?
Yeah.
Maybe you just didn't get them, or they went in your spam folder.
They don't like me enough.
You probably didn't play enough. That's what it is.
They didn't care enough. They were like, she plays so little, we don't give a fuck.
It's just beyond me. The only thing that would make this just all that much sweeter is if they did with the collector's edition bullshit, to where they don't even have the game in the Game of the Year edition. Because that's some shit that I would see.
Me.
That's some shit that I would see them doing.
100%.
100%.
I still will never forgive when Spider-Man had a collector's edition that didn't have the game in it.
Yeah, I get it, like, calling yourself a collector's edition, but you have to be, like, you just need to call it something else.
This is like, the one, Ragnarok collection that you could pre-order that it's gonna come with a steelbook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But not a physical game, just the digital copy.
See, that's the thing. I am all down for, like, that sort of, like, collectors shit. If it's cool, you know what, I'm sure it costs them like $10 to make in China, and they're selling it for like $250 for this edition. I get it. I understand that stuff is just for show, but at the same time, like, you need to change the phrasing on these games.
Yes.
Like, because they're not even games.
No.
You call it, like, the God of War Ragnarok Collector's Edition. Oh, wow, it's the Collector's Edition of the game. Well, no, it doesn't have the game.
Get collectibles.
You get an empty steel book that you can put on the shelf.
Put your code in there.
Yeah, you could put your game code in there if you pre-ordered the digital version at a store. Mm-hmm. If you got it off a console, there is nothing for you.
Yep.
There's literally, you can take a picture of your pre-order and print it out and put it in that book. That's what you can put in there. And they have like stone tabletop gaming dice and everything like that in that. That is fine. Like I said, I'm a sucker for that collectibles shit. But
I want the physical game too.
Yeah. You cannot call yourself a collector's edition of a game and say you are a game and not have the game in the game. So
you could just slap Game of the Year titles on anything now?
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised Cyberpunk hasn't done it. I'm surprised Cyberpunk hasn't done that shit yet.
Everyone in every field now should just start doing that. So you guys should be Podcast of the Year.
Yeah, Podcast of the Year.
Best podcasts in 2022. Yeah. Number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'll be it.
That's going to be your new marketing.
That's going to be our new marketing.
Yeah. Podcast of
Pod
the Year.
of the Year.
Special episodes.
POTY. SE Special Edition. I'm
so mad.
Banana sandwich.
That's not even the good Far Cry. I'm mad.
It's ridiculous.
How many times did I rage out trying to play it?
I know. It's been a hot minute. That's probably why you haven't touched it in months.
Oh, that's because of the mission I'm stuck on.
Yeah.
Because I have to fly a helicopter.
So, I'm going to move on to the last one here.
Is it going to make me mad?
No, it's not going to make you mad, but it might make Zach mad.
Stupid Game of the Year thing.
No, it might make Zach mad because... It's not
hard to make him mad, though.
Well, no, it's not that hard. Yeah, but it's because he may have to buy me a pizza. He may have to buy me a pizza because God of War Ragnarok has gone gold. Now, I am not counting my chickens before they hatch because... Just because a game goes gold doesn't mean that it's not going to get delayed.
That is true. That
said, we are about a month out from this game's release and it has officially gone gold. So we will see. We will see what happens. And I actually thought of one last one, which we might have talked about anyways on this episode. How about that Super Mario Brothers movie?
Bro!
Oh, boy, howdy. We finally get to see horrible CG Mario that is like vaguely Chris Pratt's face. Like if Chris Pratt and Mario had a child together, that's what he would look. That's what he would look like.
That's not false.
He like creepily looks like Chris Pratt.
I hate it.
You know, and everything that they showed, like in the lead up to it, like the penguins throwing the snowballs at Bowser, and Jack Black did not sound like Jack Black as Bowser, but like it seemed to be, wow, they're keeping this pretty legit. A far cry from the Mario Brothers movie from the 80s.
And then Mario Pratt made a
he like didn't even like he doesn't even have like a he's not trying to even impersonate Mario, which is what I thought was going to happen.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Is he was going to like do like a fake Italian accent or something? I don't know. It's a me, Chris Pratt.
Instead, it's like they were like, okay, you know your character Star-Lord. He was an '80s baby. Imagine that he got asked to voice Mario.
He got flushed down a toilet, because that's kind of how the trailer goes. He just gets pooped out of a toilet into the middle of a field with a toad.
Yeah, with mushrooms.
Yeah, with mushrooms and everything everywhere. I don't know. Like, the poster that they released...
We had a whole ass direct for this.
And I love Nintendo tempering their expectations with everything, because when it officially got announced, they put it up and a huge disclaimer, no game news. And it was like, if I remember correctly, it was like a half hour, 45 minutes.
Entirely too long.
Of Miyamoto just talking to Chris Pratt and Jack Black, and then the dude from the head of Illumination. And they're like, okay, I guess let's show a trailer now that's like 45 seconds to a minute long I don't know. When they released the poster, I was like, oh, wow. There could be something to this, I guess. But, like, the second Chris Pratt was just Chris Pratt as Mario, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Regardless, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. It's going to happen.
You're going to pay money to go see it?
I will pay money to go see it.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, look. I watched the old Mario Brothers. Did you watch the old Mario Brothers movie?
No.
Oh, I know what we're doing on vacation.
No.
Oh, I know 100% what we're doing on vacation. I'm going to make you watch that and see
I'm going to gather the animals and escape.
It is...
I'll leave you a note.
This Mario movie is going to look like a fucking cinematic masterpiece next to the old Mario Brothers movie. When did that even come out? It was like... Bob Hoskins and...
I sat through Fast and Furious the movies for you. I'm not sitting through
you didn't sit through all of them. We still got 2 more to go. We got Hobbs and Shaw and Fast 9.
Was it our anniversary? I let us end the night by watching Lethal Weapon? Or,
no, it was, I think it was our anniversary. We went home and we watched, it wasn't Lethal Weapon. It was Die Hard.
There we go, Die Hard.
But you kind of wanted to watch it,
I'm going
too.
to put my foot down on Mario.
I'm going to put my foot down on the play button and
by
play
yourself?
Mario on TV. That's what's going to happen.
Feel like a teenager again when it's just you yourself and you.
Oh, wow, just like that. Where you gonna go?
Away.
Did you have any sort of odds and ends? Has anything pissed you off in gaming lately? Because that's all this is anymore. It's just event space for pissed. I'm mad at X.
No. Not that. No.
No, not at all. Okay. Well, this actually went relatively close to a normal episode in the end.
Most of it's bullshit, though.
I mean, most of it's bullshit, as it is wont to be. But we are going to then move along, wrap it up, box it up, and send it out. Oh, what?
Never mind. It's old news. Never
What?
mind. I was going to ask if you brought up when I texted you that one day about Jeff Keighley and E3. And Summerfest. I couldn't remember.
Yes, I believe we did talk about that. Yeah, Jeff Keighley and still doing his own E3 thing, even though E3 is going to be a real thing, which honestly, it's sad to say, but I think this quote unquote real E3, the relaunch of it, is not going to fare very well.
I know. They're trying.
They're trying. I don't know. At this point, how do you go back? How do you go back from what it has become now to what it was before? Because remember, before they canceled it all out, before COVID really hit, they were like, oh, we're going to relaunch it as a commercialistic experience.
But they're going back to player base. Remember I told you that. It's all based around the actual gamers and what gamers want, and it's player centered again.
See, that's the thing though, is maybe it's just because I'm so cynical at this point, but they're going to tell people what they want to hear. Announcements with no dates. Such and such is in development. Oh, by the way, this latest and greatest thing.
You're gonna get that.
It's on its way.
Summer Fuckfest anyway.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know.
With Keighley also randomly throwing awards in.
Yeah, for no reason. Most anticipated Game of the Year at the Show award, or something stupid. That's a thing, man. I don't know. I'm mad as to what E3 has become.
Everything sucks.
Everything sucks.
The end. That's the podcast, y'all.
Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. Well, we're gonna do an actual for real goodbye here in a minute. So
okay,
we will be. No, you're just ready to go. You're just super ready to go.
I smell the soup.
You smell the soup?
Yeah.
That means either the soup is done or the soup has exploded all over the counter. I'm making it in a pressure cooker Instant Pot. So we'll see how that happens and go from there. It's actually not even done. I still got to put the cheese in it.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just telling you. What are you? You're failing with the box. Turn it. Struggle sounds. All right, we'll be right back.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, we have reached the end of this show, question mark?
It's a good time.
No, it's a, hey, I've told you before, this is always a fun time whenever I get to do this with you.
I didn't make fun of you this time either.
Yet. So anyways, this is the part where we get to plug what it is that we do and what we're doing. Is there anything you would like to plug that you do, that you're doing? No?
You watch UHW because I play Sam the Salamander.
You do. And I'm Chad Rover. Not so sleazy, I guess, sleazy businessman.
You can't even play sleazy.
Who's got something to so
You're too good of a guy.
You know what, and I've talked to Zach about this, like, I may have an exit strategy, because what I do anytime I play, like, a tabletop game for the first time, I just kind of go with what sounds good and what I think it's going to be, and then I learn how to play the game, and then realize at the end, I actually am kind of not really doing this, or I'd rather prefer to do a different thing. And this is in no way me saying, oh, no, I'm done with Chad Rover. I've already told Zach that I've talked to him about my ideas and what I want to do moving forward. But
I'm a great Sam the Salamander Watts because I'm also socially awkward.
And that's all. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Not knowing what to say in public.
Me.
So yeah, you can catch us on UHW. Zach has also been doing the live read solo play of I did this terrible thing where I'm gonna plug a thing and I can't even remember what it's called. I'm a bad person. There's the Wizard's Respite, however you prefer to pronounce it. That individual has made like a single-player tabletop game. Zach has been going through that and narrating that, and it seems like he does enjoy doing that. He's got a decent amount of views on that there. And, of course, there's live streams and everything else. We do plan on doing a new Let's Play at some point. We have unfortunately decided my end, for some reason, EA doesn't work for games, so we're going to have to figure something out. I don't know if it's going to be long form, if we'll do like a rapid fire, like 2 episodes of a thing and move on to something else. Who knows? But we'll get something figured out. But we have reached the official end of everything here.
If you're still here, thanks for listening to this bullshit.
Yeah, if you're still here listening to this, thanks for listening to this bullshit. Because I am always scatterbrained whenever I do this. I never know what to say and how to say it.
And
because
you just ramble.
Yeah, we just kind of ramble. But you would think me doing this now for like 2+ years or something that I would have a better handle on what I'm doing with this. But you can find us here on the Discord or on this channel here. I told you I'm not 100%. I'm slowly dying still. I cannot remember the exact name link for the Discord, but it is here on the channel.
Worst co-host
I
ever.
really am. Hey, he knew what
0 out of 10 on Yelp.
he knew what he was getting into whenever he had me to take the reins on this. If you want to know the official links, go to the previous episode or listen to the episode after this. How about that?
In a week?
Yeah, in an additional week.
You'll have to stick around for a
You'll have to
whole
stick
week.
that's
Might
going to
as
be
well
our
just subscribe.
that's going to be the new strategy. Dollars go up right there. We're always elusive and we don't give you all the information. You got to put all the information together like a puzzle.
That's probably the longest outro ever.
And then at the end, you zoom out and you see that puzzle forms a perfectly framed image of disappointment.
That's my entire life.
All right, well, thank you guys for suffering through this. Thank you to Kayla for jumping in on here with this. She is sacrificing watching football right now. That's how much she cares. I almost had to do this alone because I didn't want to. I asked her about it before I realized that it was Sunday in football.
Defense is currently playing right now, and I'm here instead.
Okay, so she's going to go do the football, and I'm going to go eat the food. Come back here next week for more bullshit and shenanigans, and probably more organized bullshit and shenanigans. Thank you very much, and as long as you keep watching and listening, we're going to keep doing whatever this is.
Bye!